Today, the CIA torture report, oil prices in freefall, and Russia on verge of financial collapse. Your host is Rick Falkvinger, and this is Liberties Report.
This report is presented by Private Internet Access.
Good evening and welcome to Liberties Report Week 50. Today we might be looking at a possible imminent failure of governments as well as of the global economy. But first, last week saw the CIA torture report getting released, which outlined some of the torture methods used by the CIA in the past decade. About 500 pages, somewhat redacted, of some 6,000 pages were released. And while the report deliberately doesn't go into ethics, it does establish that the CIA lied to everybody with regards to everything, and was much more brutal in its torture and practically executions of sometimes innocent people than had ever been made public. Some people in the United States are protesting that reporting on torture and murder of innocent people jeopardizes the nation's safety. Most people are responding to this, that it's not the reporting that is the long-term security problem, but the actual torture and murder of innocent people by a government agency in the first place. It's also firmly established that torture doesn't work to get intelligence, as people will say anything under duress to get out of a life-threatening situation. This has gotten much more attention than it deserves, as the question, does torture work, ranks right up there with, is slavery commercially profitable, and is genocide good for bringing down housing prices? However, the reporting of the CIA torturing just over 100 people, 26 of which were known to be innocent, with several dying as a result of the torture, something we would normally call execution, or more correctly, murder, as horrible as it is, has caused many to forget the recent activity of the CIA, activity that, in small and large, triggered the initial wave of counterinsurgents, what the US administration would call terrorism. Do look up the Phoenix program on Wikipedia and what is officially known about it, and you'll find that the CIA used terminal torture methods like rape, gang rape, and genital electrocution on 80,000 people in just one operation a few decades ago. Of these, between 26,000 and 41,000 were killed. And when we say terminal torture, we mean as in resulting in death. To quote the Wikipedia page, "Few of the detainees survived. Most were tortured to death. Those who did survive the torture sessions were generally killed afterwards." And that is still me reading the easiest to digest details from a Wikipedia page. This is the organization that the United States has tasked with finding terrorists. The irony couldn't be more striking, overt, and frankly disgusting. In finance now, we're in for a ride. The oil price is in free fall, clocking in at $53 per barrel as of this morning, having halved in the past 6 months. This means that basically all oil-producing countries are taking a very serious hit to their economy. The reason for the oil price in free fall is as simple as supply and demand. The US, having boosted its domestic production considerably with shale oil, means a lot less upward buy pressure on the oil price, and the OPEC countries have little interest in reducing production by sacrificing market share to benefit countries like Russia and Iran. However, this has led to a completely unstable situation. The last time oil prices were this low were in the mid-2009 heavy financial crisis, when the world economy was a mere hair's breadth from collapsing. This night, the Russian central bank hiked the Russian exchange rate from 10.5% to 17%. This is in contrast with most central banks in the Western world, which are at zero interest or even negative interest rates, like the European Central Bank, which is clocking in at 0.2% currently. Also, A just after midnight interest rate hike like that does not signal financial stability. Rather, it signals complete fiscal panic. As a result, the Moscow Stock Exchange fell 5% on Tuesday as of this writing, and the ruble is down almost 20% towards the dollar just on the day. Banks are reporting that despite the interest rate hike, there are currently zero open buy orders for Russian rubles. The price of and trade with Russian sovereign credit default swaps, which can be explained as a bankruptcy insurance, are skyrocketing. In short, the market is behaving as though Russia is about to collapse financially. Worrying signs can also be seen in China, where industry growth sentiment is now negative after several years of money-printing-fueled Keynesianism. China has used more construction concrete in the past 3 years than the US did in the entire 20th century. However, there are small signs things aren't as stable as they should be. With Russia's and China's economies tied together by oil deals, this may have a cascading impact, and the next week may be pivotal for the world economy. And liberties tend to be first out the window when crisis hits, so there's considerable cause for concern at this point. I'm Rick Falkving, and this is Liberties Report. Visit our sponsor, Private Internet Access. Good night.
This report is presented by Private Internet Access.
Liberties Report is produced using exclusively free software.